ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி. எல்லோருக்கும் காலை வணக்கம். கவனத்தை நமது இதயத்தில் கொண்டு வந்து பிரார்த்தனை செய்வோம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தங்களுடைய அருளால் நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் ஒன்றாக இணைந்து இன்றைய தியானத்திற்கு அமர்ந்திருக்கின்றோம். தயவு செய்து எங்கள் இதயத்தில் வந்து அமர்ந்து இன்றைய தியானம் எங்களுக்கு எண்ணங்களற்ற நிலையிலும் எங்களுடைய ஆத்மா அந்த பரமாத்மாவுடைய இணைப்பில் இருக்கவும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே. ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே எங்களுக்குள் இருக்கும் குண்டலினி தாயாக இருந்து எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். இந்த பிரார்த்தனையோடு நாம் குண்டலினி உயர்த்தி பந்தன் போட்டுக்கொள்வோம். கவனத்தை முழுவதும் நமது சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தில் மற்றும் நமது உள்ளங்கைகளில் நுண்ணதிர்வுகள் எப்படி இருக்கின்றது என்று உணர்ந்து நமக்குள் அமைதியையும் உணரலாம். முழுவதுமாக கவனம் நமக்குள்ளேயே இருக்கட்டும். வேறு எந்த சிந்தனையும் வேண்டாம். காலை நேர தியானத்தில் முழுவதுமாக நாம் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜியிடம் அர்ப்பணிப்போம். முழு சரணாகதியோடும் நாம் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜியிடம் மிகவும் பணிந்து, ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே எல்லாம் செய்கின்றீர்கள், நாங்கள் எதுவும் செய்வதில்லை. இந்த நாள் முழுவதும் நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் நன்றாக இருப்பதற்கு தாங்களே எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். அன்னையின் திரு கமல பாதங்களை நமது சாஸ்திராரத்தில் நாம் உணர வேண்டும். கவனத்தை முழுவதும் சாஸ்திராரத்தில் வைத்துக்கொண்டு 3 மகா மந்திரங்களை கூறுவோம். ஓம் த்வமேவ சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ மகாலக்ஷ்மி மகா சரஸ்வதி महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलनी साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायनी माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ஸ்ரீ கணேசரின் முழு அருளும் அவர்களுடைய எல்லா ஸ்ரீ கணேச தத்துவம் நமது எல்லா சக்கரங்களிலும் நிலைத்திருக்க நாம் ஸ்ரீ கணேச மந்திரத்தை கூறுவோம். ஓம் த்வமேவ சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ கணேஷ சாக்ஷாத் ஷாதிசக்தி மாதாஜி ஸ்ரீ நிர்மலா தேவியை நமோ நமஹ. மெதுவாக 2 கைகளை பூமியின் மீது வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ பூமி தாய். எங்கள் ஆன்மீக வளர்ச்சியை பாதிக்கும் எல்லா உபாதைகள் மற்றும் எதிர்மறை சக்திகளை முழுவதுமாக இந்த பூமி மார்க்கமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் தங்களுடைய தூய கருவிகளாக இருக்க எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே. श्री आदि भूमि माता साक्षात ओम त्वमेव साक्षात श्री आदि भूमि माता साक्षात श्री आदि शक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः. நமது நாடிகள் மற்றும் சக்கரங்களில் இருக்கும் எல்லா உபாதைகளை ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி அதை பூமி மார்க்கமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். கவனம் இடது நாடியின் மீது. தாயே, தங்களுடைய அருளால் எங்களுக்கு தூய விருப்பத்தை தந்தருளுங்கள். எங்கள் இடது நாடியை சமநிலையில் வைத்திருங்கள். தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ மகாகாளி மற்றும் ஸ்ரீ பைரவராக எங்கள் இடது நாடியிலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, எங்கள் இடது நாடியின் எல்லா சக்கரங்களின் குணங்களையும் மேம்படுத்த செய்யுங்கள். ஓம் त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महाकाली साक्षात् श्री भैरवनाथ साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः. கவனத்தை வலது நாடிக்கு கொண்டு வருவோம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ மகா சரஸ்வதி மற்றும் ஸ்ரீ ஹனுமாராக எங்கள் வலது நாடியிலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். எங்கள் வலது நாடியில் இருக்கும் எல்லா சக்கரங்களின் குணங்களை மேம்படுத்துங்கள் தாயே. நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் தங்களுடைய தூய கருவிகளாக இருப்ப எங்களுக்கு தூய்மையான செயல்திறன்களை தந்தருளுங்கள். ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीमहासरस्वती साक्षात् श्रीहनुमान् साक्षात् श्री माताजी श्रीनिर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः. இரண்டு உள்ளங்கைகள் மடியின் மீது, கவனம் முழுவதும் நமது சுழுமுனை நாடியில். தாயே, தாங்களே எங்கள் சுழுமுனை நாடியில் ஸ்ரீ மகாலட்சுமி மற்றும் ஸ்ரீ கணேசராக அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். நாங்கள் எப்பொழுதும் சமநிலையில் இருக்கவும் எங்களுக்கு அருளுங்கள் தாயே. ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, எங்களுடைய பரிணாம வளர்ச்சியில் முழுவதுமாக எங்கள் சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தை திறந்துவிட்டு எங்களுக்கு யோக நிலையை தந்தருளுங்கள். ஓம் त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी साक्षात् श्री गणेशा साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै நமோ நமः. கவனத்தை முழுவதுமாக நமது சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். நமது இரண்டு உள்ளங்கைகளிலிருந்து நுண்ணதிர்களை நாம் உணர வேண்டும். கவனத்தை மூலாதார சக்கரத்திற்கு கொண்டு வந்து, ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ நிர்மல் கணேஷாக எங்கள் மூலாதார சக்கரத்திலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். ஸ்ரீ கணேசரின் எல்லா குணங்களையும் எங்களுக்கு மேம்பட செய்யுங்கள். எங்களுக்கு தூய அறிவையும் தூய ஞானத்தையும் தந்தருளுங்கள். கள்ளம் கபடமற்ற குணத்தையும் விவேக புத்தியையும் தந்தருளுங்கள். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, ஸ்ரீ கார்த்திகேயன் அருளால் எங்களை பாதிக்கும், எங்களுடைய ஆன்மாவிற்கு எதிராக இருக்கும் எல்லா தீய குணங்களையும் அழித்து விடுங்கள். நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் தூய்மையோடு இருக்கவும், எங்கள் ஆத்மா தூய்மை பெறவும், எங்கள் மனம் புத்தி எல்லாவற்றையும் தூய்மைப்படுத்தவும் ஸ்ரீ கார்த்திகேயன் முழு அருளும் எங்களுக்கு கிடைக்குமாறு செய்யுங்கள் தாயே. கவனத்தை மூலாதார சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக்கொண்டு ஸ்ரீ கணேஷ அதர்வ சிரேஷத்தை கூறுவோம். ஓம் நமஸ்தே கணபதயே त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं दर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं कल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षात् आत्मासि नित्यं हृदं वश्मि सत्यं वश्मि अवत्वमाम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवधातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानम् अवशिष्यम् अवपश्चातात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोधरातात् अवदक्षिणातात् अवचोर्ध्वातात् अवाधरातात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वम् आनन्दमयस्त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चित् आनन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगतिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगतिदं त्वत्त्वतिष्ठति सर्वं जगतिदं त्वयि लयमिष्यति सर्वं जगतिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यम् त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मः त्वं योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यम् त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णु त्वं रुद्र त्वम् इन्द्र त्वम् अग्नि त्वं वायु त्वं सूर्य त्वं चन्द्रमास् त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरों गणादीं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादीं तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वार परदरः अद्येन्दुलसितं तारेण हृदम् एतत्त्वमनुस्वरूपं गकारपूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वार शान्त्यरूपं बिन्दुरुद्ररूपम् नादसन्धानं सन्निधा सन्धिः सैषा गणेशविद्या कनकऋषिः निःसृत् गायत्रीः छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपते नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ती प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशम् अङ्कुशधारिणं रथं च वरदं हस्तैर्बिभ्रहणं मूषकध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुभूषितं भक्तानुगम्बिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्टयादा प्रकृते पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रातपते नमो गणपते नमः प्रमथपते नमस्ते अस्तु लम्बोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवस्तुताय श्रीवरदमूर्ते नमो नमः साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः கவனத்தை இப்பொழுது நாம் நமது இரண்டாவது சக்கரமான சுவாதிஷ்டான சக்கரத்திற்கு கொண்டு வரலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்கள் சுவாதிஷ்டான சக்கரத்தின் குணங்களை மேம்படுத்துங்கள். ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மா மற்றும் ஸ்ரீ சரஸ்வதியின் முழு அருளும் அவர்களுடைய குணமான படைப்பாற்றல் குணத்தையும் தூய அறிவையும் தந்தருளுங்கள். ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மாவின் அருளால் நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் முழு அர்ப்பணிப்போடு இருக்கவும், நாங்கள் செய்யும் ஒவ்வொரு செயலையும் தங்களை திருப்தியோடு இருக்கவும், திருப்திப்படுத்தவும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே! ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, எங்களுக்கு புத்தியையும், ஞானத்தையும் ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மாவின் அருளால் கிடைக்கச் செய்யுங்கள் தாயே! ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மாவின் அருளால் எங்களுக்குள் இருக்கும் அகங்காரத்தை முழுவதுமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். இந்த பஞ்சபூதங்களின் தத்துவத்தை முழுவதுமாக எங்களுக்குள் இயங்க செய்யுங்கள் தாயே! பஞ்சபூத தத்துவங்கள் முழுவதும் ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மாவினால் இயங்குகின்றது. ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மாவே நமக்குள் இருக்கும் ஸ்ரீ ஆகாஷ தத்துவ சுவாமினியாகவும், ஸ்ரீ வாயு தத்துவ சுவாமினியாகவும், ஸ்ரீ அபதத்துவ சுவாமினியாகவும், ஸ்ரீ பிருத்வி தத்துவ சுவாமினியாகவும், ஸ்ரீ தேஜோ தத்துவ சுவாமினியாகவும் அருள் புரிகின்றார். சூரியனும் சந்திரனும் அவர்களுடைய அருளும் நமக்கு ஸ்ரீ பிரம்மாவினால் கிடைக்கின்றது. ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, ஸ்ரீ சரஸ்வதியின் முழு அருளும் எங்களுக்கு கிடைக்குமாறு செய்யுங்கள். எங்களுக்கு நிர்மல் வித்யாவை தந்தருளுங்கள். மேலும் மேலும் எங்கள் ஆன்மீக வளர்ச்சிக்கு துணையாக இருக்கும் இந்த நிர்மல் வித்யாவை எங்களுக்கு முழுவதுமாக தெரிந்து கொள்ளவும், அதை புரிந்து நாங்கள் செயல்படுத்தவும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள் தாயே! ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ ஹஸ்ரத் அலியாகவும், ஸ்ரீ ஃபாத்திமா பீவியாகவும் எங்கள் வலது சுவாதிஷ்டான சக்கரத்திலிருந்து அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ லக்ஷ்மணனாகவும் எங்கள் வலது சுவாதிஷ்டான சக்கரத்திலிருந்து அவர்களுடைய குணமும் எங்களுக்கு மேம்படுத்த செய்யுங்கள் தாயே! ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ சஞ்சீவனி சுவாமினியாக நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் ஆரோக்கியமாக இருப்பதற்கு தாங்களே ஸ்ரீ சஞ்சீவனியாக எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரிய வேண்டும். கவனம் முழுவதுமே நமது ஆக்ஞா சக்கரத்திற்கு கொண்டு வரலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, எங்களுக்குள் இருக்கும் அகங்காரத்தையும் மமகாரத்தையும் முழுவதுமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். நாங்கள் மிகவும் பணிவோடு இருக்கவும், மன்னிக்கும் குணத்தோடு இருக்கவும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள். Ham Sham Om Ham Sham Om Ham Sham. கவனத்தை சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். முழுவதுமாக இந்த அமைதியை நாம் உணரலாம். நமக்குள் இருக்கும் குண்டலினி தாய் மேலோங்கி நமது சஹஸ்ராரத்தை அடையும் போது நமக்கு முழு திருப்தியையும் அமைதியையும் தந்தருள்கின்றாள். இன்னும் அதிகமான எண்ணங்கள் வந்து கொண்டே இருந்தால் நான் மன்னிக்கிறேன் என்று கூற வேண்டும். எண்ணங்களற்ற நிலையில் நமக்கு இந்த தியானம் கிடைக்கின்றது. கவனத்தை முழுவதுமாக நமது சஹஸ்ரார சக்கரத்திலே நிலைத்திருந்து நாம் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜியின் சொற்பொழிவை கேட்போம்.
It's a unique opportunity today to do Vishnu Maya Puja because she entered into this house. We have to worship her. First we should know who is Vishnu Maya. It's very important to know because in the Devi Mahatmyam she is only described as the incarnation of the goddess. Vishnu Mayeti Shabdita. She is called as Vishnu Maya. But let's see who is she after all. This Vishnu Maya is who? So Vishnu Maya is the Kali, we can say, and is the daughter of Mahakali. She came on this earth and killed many devils and many Rakshasas to save the saints from their aggression. And she always acts in that manner to kill all the negativity of the world. She's very quick at it, I should say. And she knows where is the negativity and she tries to burn that negativity as fast as possible. Now, the origin is like this, that this Vishnu Maya was the daughter of Mahakali, who was created by Mahakali herself to fight these demons. But also, she was given special weapons to do this work. But at the time of Sri Krishna, she was born as the sister of Sri Krishna. And instead of Sri Krishna being killed by her uncle, as you know the story is, she was exchanged. She was actually the daughter of Yashoda, exchanged for Sri Krishna. And this girl, little girl, was killed by the uncle of Sri Krishna, who became the lightning in the sky and announced that Sri Krishna has already incarnated and your destiny is in his hands and he is going to kill you. She told Kansa. So this is the Vishnu Maya. Then again she took her birth at the time of Sri Krishna when he was the king of Dwarika, and she married, I should say, these 5 Pandavas, because she was Draupadi. There is a significance in that this is the one which joins 5 elements, and these 5 Pandavas represented 5 elements, and so she joined them as one wife, because she's the one who joins all the 5 elements that have created this material universe. Thus, we have a relationship established with Sri Krishna. And Sri Krishna, as you know that, treated her as a sister. Now once, when you know that they tried to insult Draupadi by pulling out her saris, it was Sri Krishna who helped her because she was his sister and such a powerful lady. She is also responsible for the Mahabharata. She is the one who brought food. She is the one who told that you have to fight these Pandavas. She absolutely told them very clearly that you have to fight the Kauravas, and in such a way that they should be defeated, not only, but they should be destroyed. Because the chastity of woman is very important. And in India, anybody who tries to molest the chastity of woman is to be cursed, is to be destroyed. And this was a very great message of Mahabharata, that only because she was insulted so much, all the war took place and all of them were destroyed. So this is the story of Vishnu Maya. But as all the deities are now in Adi Shakti residing, she is on your left Vishuddhi, reflected. And the left Vishuddhi is very important because we have problems of our ego. And you really need someone to remind us that we should not have this ego to oppress others. So this reminder comes to us maybe from our conscience or wherever it is, you may say, from our upbringing, and settles down in our left Vishuddhi as the clouds of guilt. Also, as you know, Catholic Church and all these people, every religion starts saying that you are a sinner, and all this settles down in the left side of your Vishuddhi chakra. So the guilt is there. If the guilt is there, then it is there, she is sitting down. This guilt, when rubs against each other as the clouds in the sky, Vishnu Maya gives you a feeling of burning. She burns the bhoots there, she burns our guilt, and also she removes our doubts about ourselves with her light. But in the beginning, in Sahajya Yoga, as you see, when the Kundalini rises, you feel always the left side very clearly, the pain or sometimes the burning. And sometimes people say, Mother, why am I feeling such burning here when the Kundalini is rising? Because it's the Vishnu Maya, she's trying to burn them out. This is one of our capacities, to burn. Some of them, like we can say, the water element can dissolve. Then the ice can soothe you down. But Vishnu Maya is an element like electricity, which really puts you into proper shape by burning away your negativities. It's very surprising that this power of Vishnu Maya is of the left side. And despite that, it has that fire in itself that it can burn away the negativity bhoots on the left-hand side. Now let us see how we develop these left-hand side bhoots. It's very interesting because as we are dealing with Vishnu Maya, it should cooperate with her and should not have any more pains about it. It comes to us, especially in the West. I mean, in India, I don't think anybody feels guilty about anything. It's something that's very surprising. I've never seen any Indian feeling guilty. The reason is that if they have done a mistake in India, as it is, the culture is such that this is bad manners, that is bad manners, like that. Now somebody by mistake does something, then he can bear a grunt against that person. But he will never feel guilty that I've hurt that person or I've said something wrong or I should not have said. Because in the whole culture there is nothing like sorry and thank you. It's funny culture Indian is. There's nothing like saying sorry, and so much thank you also they don't say. When all the time saying thank you, then good morning, good evening, I mean all the time. It's more sort of a artificial thing for us. Even in Maharashtra, the women never even say namaste except to the goddess or to God or to incarnations or in the temples. They'll never say to some man namaskar like this. Just like this, or they might just smile, that's all. So it is because we have to only bow to God. Why should we say good morning to everyone, good evening to everyone? We should say good morning only to God. You see, that's the situation. So it is the way it is being done. Now, if you have done anything wrong, say in the East, I mean in India as it is, if you have done anything in a way that you should not have done. So there are only two ways they deal with it. Either they will confess it and go, that person that I've done this wrong, now you can cut my throat, do what you like. Whatever punishment you give me, I'm willing to do. This is the first thing they'll admit. That if you think that I've done wrong, you can slap me immediately. I can pick up the slap. Supposing you say something rude to your father. It's not to be said, it's bad manners because he's elder. If any elderly person has been insulted, then it is wrong. Then you will go and touch the feet of that person and say, I'm sorry, I've said this and I hope you forgive. So the other person says, all right, I forgive. I'll give an example. We were in Russia and a little problem started between two persons. One was much younger and one was much older. Surgeries. So the reaction, I'm telling you how it happened. So the elder one came and complained at 2 o'clock in the night that this man said that you don't know what I am capable of. I said, really? That he should not have said such a thing to you. So I called that fellow, woke him up at about 2:30. I said, why did you say such a thing to him? You should not have said. He's your elder, you cannot say like that. Because he said that, Mother, he talked to me as if he would talk to his own servant. He didn't talk to me in the way he should have talked to me. So I said this, but I said, despite that, you cannot say this to your elders. You cannot say like that. Yes, of course, I know I made a mistake, and actually I was not sleeping. I was not awake and I was not sleeping. I was thinking I should tomorrow morning go and ask for his forgiveness and finish it. So I said, just now, immediately got up and got hold of his feet, and he said, now forgive me, because you were also too much of it. I said, I agree, that was my mistake, so you also forgive me. Finished. And in the West, formerly, it was not so bad also. What they used to do, supposing there's a quarrel between two men, they would use their boxing, box each other nicely, and everybody will box each other, finished. Nowadays you cannot box anyone, you cannot ask for forgiveness, it's too much of prestige, this, that. All these artificial things have made you feel guilty because you are supposed to do that. If anybody, it's natural. If anybody has said anything to you, you will just go and box him and say, why did you say such a thing to me? And that fellow will box you back and finished. Was a very common style. You see in all these old American pictures, you see all this. I've seen it all the time. So, let the Indian musicians can come this side. Idhar aa jaye, idhar aap log. But this guilt business has come because of sophistication. I used to think, why do they feel guilty for everything? First is sophistication. First reason is because you cannot go and say somebody, oh, I'm sorry, I've said this, and please forgive me, and another person may not even forgive. So, this is due to sophistication and no communication. There is no communication. I mean, in a country like India, people will fight, and next day you will see them hugging each other. It doesn't last long, very much. But if there is any sort of a very big problem between the families or some uncertain ancient one, then they'll keep it up. They will not talk to that person, they'll keep that distance, they'll keep it all the time. But here it is not so. Superficially, they meet everyone. Superficially, they talk to everyone. But inside, they have that guilt. So because of this superficial sophistication, what has happened? That we suffer from this left Vishuddhi. And then Vishnu Maya gets angry. That's why most of the people in the West I've seen have left Vishuddhi, and even I have got it from you all. It's like that. So it's nothing, it's artificial, it is mythical, nothing to feel guilty about. After all, if you had done anything wrong, you would have been in jail. You are sitting here. So how can you be guilty? So this guilt business has killed our growth in Sahaja Yoga very much, I know that. So first of all, how to overcome your ego is the problem. Ego is there, and when you see your ego and you cannot say that you are egoistical, you have to put the result of that as a left Vishuddhi. So the first thing you have to do is to see that you have ego. Alright. Then you stand before the mirror, separate yourself from your reflection, and start telling off your own reflection. What do you mean by having ego in yourself? You are a Sahaja, you have no business to have any ego. But if you have the guilt, you will never see you have the ego. You will just feel the guilt but never see you have the ego. And that's how ego remains and the left Vishuddhi also remains. Both things can be easily conquered if you face yourself. Just see yourself, this was my ego. Yes, why should I have ego? Now there are ways of removing all these imbalances within ourselves through Sahaja. It's not difficult and has been removed. So you know right side, left side is so simple. Sahaja Yoga is just movement of your fingers and hands, that's all. It's not a thing diagnosis where they take out your blood, take out your tongue, take out your eyes and declare that you are healthy. It's not that way. It just, you can feel it, that you are all right, you are in balance. Once that balance is established, there is no problem with Vishnu Maya. So this Vishnu Maya, who was the sister of Sri Krishna and later on came as Draupadi and all that, is today also existing in this light. And in your left Vishuddhi. But people do not want to see what's wrong with them. This is the big problem. Like in York, they had a church where a bishop of Durham, useless fellow, he declared that Christ was an ordinary man and he could have been a homosexual. Can you imagine such a thing to say? I mean, even to hear is too much. And we should make some experiments. We should find out through some discoveries. Can you imagine such a hopeless thing we should say in the church? So, when the whole thing was ceremonial, he said it. Then our Archbishop of Canterbury, who is another one, was so enamored by the new discovery of this fellow that he honored him in a church in York. And then after the thing, the whole thing was about to be over or something, they saw lightning looming around the church, around it. When all the people were out, this lightning completely fell on that thing and destroyed the whole of the church, except for the lower part. Now, instead of seeing that what they did was wrong, what they said that, see, look at the grace of God and the grace of our faith, that the lower portion of the church was not burned. Such an explanation to be given. So then explanation. I have seen is very common here because mind is very intelligent here. I did this because I thought like this, I thought like that. Always there is an explanation for everything that you did wrong. I thought like this, but why did you think like that is the point nobody wants to say. If you think, why did I think like that? So this is an escape from the assertion of your ego that has harmed others, or also it has harmed some cause. It's just an explanation. And people wriggle out. Actually, there are so many wrigglers. I have seen, like Mr. Waldham. They just wriggle out of all the problems they have created, all the bad things they have done. I mean, somehow or other they know how to wriggle out. Because this method they have developed is to just to say something that would somehow or other give them a little capacity to escape. But they don't want to face it. So now, we have to understand that we must face it. And I know certain people also say, there are certain whom you tell them now why it has happened. I thought this. But why did you think? You should have seen the vibration. You are not on the thinking level. You are now on the vibration level. Why not use your vibratory awareness? I thought. Once this I thought comes in, your attention is on something that is mythical. The reality is that you have committed a mistake. All right, admit it's a mistake and it's to be corrected. Now take a car. Now there's a car. If the car gets out of order or something, the car doesn't think I thought, does it? And we also don't think that the car thought. Never. What we do is to correct the car. Finished. If we have to drive the car, we correct the car. In the same way, this mind, which says, I thought, should on the contrary correct itself. So this sentence of I thought should be out of the language of Sahaja. We don't think, we are in thoughtless awareness. And then things work out properly. When you start thinking that I think I am responsible, finished. When you start thinking I am not responsible, it's all done by God. I am not responsible for anything. If some mistake is done, it's God's mistake. Let him have his gift to shoot it. But I haven't done anything. But when I say I thought, means I take the responsibility and I create my own problem. So to take a decision, you should be in that state of thoughtless awareness. Many times I see all these things happening like a drama around me. I keep quiet, I say, all right, everyone all right. I take the consensus. But whatever has to be done is done according to God's will. But it doesn't amaze people now. It used to once upon a time. Because it corrects people, it is fruitful, it achieves results. Ultimately now, they have accepted that whatever mother decides is the best. But I don't decide actually. To be very frank, I don't do anything. But I see it so clearly, so evidently that this is the right thing one should do. So why do wrong things? That's how you have to develop yourself, to get over this problem of Vishuddhi. But Vishnu Maya has to be worshipped, has to be really remembered every day, because that is a common failing in the West. Now, if your Vishnu Maya is bad, angry with you, then what happens? You go on adding guilt after guilt, guilt after guilt, guilt after guilt. But all the time if you are alert and keep your Vishnu Maya intact, then what happens? That she looks out. She doesn't allow any guilt to come. And then the enjoyment of your spirit is maximum. With a guilt, it's a dent in it. You see, I'm so happy, mother, happy, very happy, I'm rejoiced. But suddenly, what happened? Oh, I did that wrong. I've seen people getting upset for small things. I mean, of course, I have another life also. Very sophisticated world. One gentleman was eating all right and suddenly, what happened? Oh, I was supposed to telephone to that person and I did not telephone. But now you eat your food now, why are you worried about that? So, no, I should have. But what is going to happen in any case? You have not telephoned, so you have not telephoned now. It's all right. Now you better have your phone and telephone. Then he finds out that the man was not there at all. He could never report. So all these things are sort of, have created a kind of a norms in our life. And these are so artificial norms. Now, I was supposed to be there, say at this time. I am not there. So what? I should have been there. But if you are not there, what's the use of feeling bad about it? I should have reached the place. You will be surprised. The planes will wait, the man will wait, everything will be there, even if you reach 8 hours later. It would all happen that way. But first you must get in tune with this all-pervading power, with Vishnu Maya. If you are tuned with her, then you will never find. It's all in front of you. It's just there, because remember, now you have entered into the kingdom of God. Just test it. But on the contrary, you are all the time using your human ignorance. And then you get deceived. Try to know that you are enlightened people. That you are not any more ordinary. But unless and until you use your powers, what's the use? It's like some beggar, you put him on the throne. And when people come to me, begs, all right, Baba, you are made the king, why are you begging? So not to feel guilty is our religion. Not to feel guilty. We have to face it. If you have done any mistake, with open heart, we should accept we done this mistake, go and tell the person, do the thing, or correct it, or attend to it, instead of making a capital out of it and putting it down on your Vishuddhi. It is a very big problem in the West. And I was surprised that it is very much on the increase. And they are very proud. Oh, I'm so guilty. Better go to jail. All your pleasant temperament, all your joyous temperament absolutely gets poisoned by this guilt, which has no meaning. Neither it can help you nor can it help anyone. I'm telling you with such earnestness because I know it's in the beginning, of course, all the Sahajogis whom I have met in the West had this guilt. Also, Catholicism is another one. In the Catholic Church, you are supposed to confess. But I have seen Protestants very badly guilty. Protestants are no less. But in India, you take any Catholic or a Protestant, nobody is guilty there. As I told you the other day, a story my granddaughter asked me, Grandma, what sins you think I am committing? I said, what? I didn't commit any sin. But can you tell me if I am committing any sin? I said, I don't see any sin in you. She said, but you know, in our school they asked me to confess my sins, so what should I confess? I said, what will you say? Oh, only thing I ate 2 ice creams. I said, go and tell them. So it's so stupid as that. If you see the point, it is very stupid. And this stupidity Sahajogis should not indulge. Keep yourself happy. Makes no difference whatsoever. And sometimes I make mistakes, like suddenly I don't know why Aristotle I confused with Tolstoy. I don't know why Tolstoy came into my mind, though I don't think Tolstoy was anywhere near Aristotle or Aristotle was anywhere near like that. But I did commit mistake and I've been thinking why it was so. Still, it is very important. Even these people, when they are described, like, you see, Aristotle had no influence on Tolstoy at all. It's a fact. He had no influence. Aristotle was a man with politics and all that, and he displaced all the philosophy on one side. Here is Tolstoy, who tried to show how a person can resurrect. I don't know if you have read him or not, but I think he is one of the great writers of those days. And the other day only I was comparing both of them, and I said, look at this man. He is absolutely different from Aristotle. Absolutely. 2 ends of the thing, we can say. And how is it that he never read Aristotle? He was such a learned man, he never read Aristotle. Then I just felt it's a Russian mind. And Russian mind is extremely introspective. And this introspection was missing in Mr. Aristotle, was taking out everything out of his head, the yarn, and putting people on the other line altogether of this politics. Plato was even in a way worse than him, but this one is another. So Socrates was finished. And Aristotle became everything. But because I have been judging both of them on their merits, that how is it Tolstoy? Because Tolstoy was a born realized soul. So he saw life very differently. If you have read Anna Karenina, there they have shown this lady, Anna Karenina, carrying on with another man when she was a married lady, and her husband very tolerant, working very hard and all that, and could not give her sufficient time, so she thought she has a right to be romantic. And then at the end he proves that she was never happy. But her husband was very peaceful, very forgiving. But she was never happy, and ultimately she had to commit suicide. I mean, these are old writers who used to write like this, especially those who were realized souls. But if you give the same thing to somebody who is a modern writer, he would show that the husband committed suicide, not the wife. And that's what now we are in the modern times. And that's how we are, that we feel guilty for none of our faults.
கவனத்தை நமது இடது விசுத்தி சக்கரத்தில் வைத்துக்கொண்டு மனதார கூறுவோம், ஸ்ரீமாதாஜி தங்களுடைய அருளால் நான் குற்றம் அற்றவள். எனக்குள் எந்த குற்ற உணர்வும் இல்லை. ஸ்ரீமாதாஜி, நான் செய்யும் தவறுகளை உணர்ந்து அதை திருத்திக் கொள்ளவும் எங்களுக்கு அருள் புரியுங்கள். ஸ்ரீமாதாஜி, நான் குற்றம் அற்றவள். மெதுவாக நாம் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜியை வணங்கிவிட்டு இன்றைய தியானத்திற்கு நன்றி கூறுவோம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, இன்றைய தியானம் எங்களுக்கு தந்ததற்கு எங்களது கோடான கோடி நன்றிகள் தாயே. குண்டலினியை உயர்த்தி நாம் பந்தன் போட்டுக்கொள்வோம். ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி.